Guys, welcome to the 2014 Paleo Challenge Seminar. Now, what we're kind of using this as, it's not necessarily a weight loss challenge. What we're going to use this for is a reset. So that's a reset on what we're eating, how we're managing stress, not only the products we're putting into our body through our diet, but also the personal hygiene products we're using. And maybe just reset on our workouts and how we're working out, and maybe dial in all those aspects. And, you know, that'll give us a chance, if we really think, pull out a lot of the manipulated products from man, whether it be in our diets or just in our everyday use. If we pull those things all out for 30 days, it kind of gives us a reset. And then that will allow us to start reintroducing certain things and see what affects us and what those effects are, and give us a really good starting point to give a better idea of what may be causing some of our problems. Or if you don't think you have any problems, you might realize you feel a lot better when certain things you're not consuming. But we're going to kind of cover all this stuff here today, and make sure you put your email down, or other people, you can tell them to sign up, because we can email out all this presentations and some recipes and websites and give you a big bunch of information in addition to this kind of brief overview. We can send that out and give you guys a good starting point. But we're going to turn it over to Todd, and thanks everyone for coming, and here we go.
Thanks, B. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming out. Like Brandon said, we're looking for a lifestyle change here, and one that's going to have an impact not just on your weight, but just on your health in general. So, well, the IT guy is not very good. That was me. Come on, you guys are asleep. Okay, sorry. So first off, like I said, we want to change your life. And most of you probably know something about paleo, otherwise you probably wouldn't be here, or at least you're interested clearly in finding out. So like Brandon said, there's certain things that we eat that can cause problems that we don't even realize we're having. We can be sick, we can be tired, we can have skin conditions that maybe we don't realize that something in the food we're eating is causing. So we're trying to strip that stuff away, get back to like a baseline, and figure out, okay, how to reintroduce these things into my life and figure out if they actually are causing a problem or not. So first question some people may have is, what is paleo, right? In its like purest form, all we're looking at is eating real food, right? Meat, seafood, eggs, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and some fruit. The name, as it implies, of course, talks about Paleolithic man, how they ate. They hunted and gathered for a long time before we ever started growing wheat and things like this. And so the premise behind it is, in the last 10,000 years, we haven't actually adapted, our bodies haven't adapted to this new introduction of all these grains and things that we're eating on a very regular basis. So it doesn't respond as well. So that's where the name paleo comes from. We're trying to eat just ultimately just very clean. Again, it's not a diet. This is a lifestyle change we want everybody to have. We're after better health, better performance, healthier skin. And of course, we know when paired with fitness that you can get some really lean muscle mass and gains, if that's your goal. So again, we're eating real food. What we're trying to avoid, pretty much everything on here can be summed up in the first one almost. So sugar, we want to avoid sugar, alcohol, grains, legumes, so that includes peanuts. I used to eat peanut butter religiously, and it saddened me a lot to stop. Does anybody else like peanut butter? Like everybody likes peanut butter? Yeah. All right, well, I don't see Rich Froning in the room, so we're going to leave that one off. So legumes, dairy, basis of no dairy is that it's a processed food. So we're trying to avoid those things that are processed that might have chemicals in them that they wouldn't have naturally. White potatoes, that's always a touchy one. Like technically it's grown in the ground. It's grown the same way sweet potato is. It's a starchier vegetable. So if weight loss is your goal, then white potatoes probably shouldn't be eaten. If it's not, you're working out a whole lot, you might could squeeze a couple of those in. No junk food, including paleofied junk food. We brought some material here you guys can come up and look at when we kind of finish, but lots of cookbooks out there right now about paleo, and there's a lot of paleofied treats. And you can find these all over the blogospheres, and you can look on Twitter and Instagram, and there's tons of, hey, this is paleo because it's made with almond flour. That first one we said is sugar, right? This is agave nectar, supposedly natural. We bought this at Whole Foods. This is from my cabinet. Fair trade certified low glycemic sweetener. That is sugar. This is not acceptable in terms of the 30 days that we want to attack, okay? Also from my cabinet, organic dark brown sugar. Sugar. Brown, organic, whatever form it's in, sugar is something we want to leave off. This Apple TV doesn't like me very much. Sorry, train of thought. Alcohol. Alcohol is sugar. Like ultimately it turns into sugar in our bodies. So when we consume it, I've been on a quest lately to figure out what kind of benefit it adds to my life, and I'm not coming up with a whole lot of good answers. But it turns into sugar, which of course spikes our insulin, and insulin, overproduction of insulin is why our bodies actually have fat, because it will take that and it'll say, well, I don't know what to do with this, so I'm going to store it, and it stores it in our body as fat. So we want to avoid these things because of that spike in insulin. We know that insulin spikes also have problem. They create, a lot of folks have type 2 diabetes, really popular now. We know that that is a direct result of insulin spikes. Dairy, again, we talked about that. It's more of a process piece. We want to avoid those processed things that might have chemicals in them that they wouldn't have otherwise. And again, the paleofying things is always a touchy one because, you can find it in these cookbooks, even in these. Like a lot of this is good, but there's still going to be things in there that aren't quote unquote Paleolithic. Nope. All right. So what we want to do is, it's a lot of stuff to cut out. I think Chris Payne left a few minutes ago and he said, okay, so basically paleo is cut out all those fun things that I like to eat that actually create happiness in my life, and then I'm good. That's not what we want you guys to do. We don't want you to feel like, hey, I'm erasing everything. We also don't want you to think that you have to give up your whole world for this to happen. We want 30 days. That's what the challenge is, a 30-day challenge. We don't want you to get stressed out about it. So like Brandon said, we're getting your email and that sign-up sheet. We're going to send everybody a packet of information that has more detail about what I'm talking about. Some of the science behind it, if you like that. I didn't want to bore everybody with it. So we don't want you to stress out, so you have all the material to make this successful for yourself in 30 days. We don't want you to weigh beyond the first day of this challenge, okay? So we don't want anyone to step on a scale. Okay, remember, we're not really targeting weight loss, we're targeting health, okay? So we want health. We don't want you to measure yourself. your food, really. We don't want you to count calories. I know a friend of mine here works with me. We have a fitness program and people there like calories. This only has this many calories. The 100-calorie pack of Oreos is still Oreos. It is not healthy. Like that is something that I don't understand why people can't get that. But don't count calories because you're going to eat probably a lot of food, but you're eating a lot of really clean food, so you're not going to get any bad calories from it. So we only want you to focus on eating good food, okay? And this is where it gets hard, right? So, a little tough love. It's not that hard. Like, in reality, like, let's face it, like, it's not that difficult. Beating cancer, that's difficult. Losing a loved one, that's difficult. Are there any women in here that might have children? Birthing a child, I can't attest to it myself, but I'm going to guess that that's pretty hard. Eating clean food is not hard. You're in the grocery store a very short period of time because there's only like 3 sections that you shop in, like period. You don't go down the middle aisles like at all. So it's not that hard, okay? Don't make cheating an option for yourself. If you know that you're going to struggle with, I have this one thing that I love, just don't make it an option. Don't give yourself the ability to slide back into that, okay? And it's hard to say sometimes, but I mean, sometimes we gotta toughen up, right? Like, we're gonna go to those work meetings or company picnic or holiday party. You don't have to eat what is there. Like, you don't have to eat just because they have a platter full of chicken fingers from Zaxby's. Preston, you like Zaxby's? Okay, Chris Kane, we'll go with that. So you don't have to eat that stuff. You might want to, and I think everyone probably has, but you don't have to do it. So it's all about conscious choices when we're in those environments to know, like, okay, I'm about to go somewhere where they're not really concerned about my eating habits. Prepare yourself for that mentally, and then if you're taking something with you, take something with you that you can eat. If you're like in my work parties, I take stuff, and I'm the only person that eats what I take. I'm serious. It's funny, but do you guys like guacamole? Is that weird? I took that to work, and I was the only person that ate it in the whole. There was 20 people in our meeting, and I was like,
well, it's not fried, so.
Right? Yeah, right. So, anyway. So take something with you that you can eat that won't let you cheat, okay? I also, like Brandon said the other day, Bobby Joe asked him if he had food in his bag, and he was like, what do you mean? Of course I have food in my bag. Have something with you so that if you get in a situation, you're stuck in traffic, or you have to go to the DMV and you can't go to lunch, take something that you can eat, okay? And we're going to, again, share some of the information with you guys that will help you with that. And then the other part here is there is a certain amount of effort that's required. So we say it's not hard, but that doesn't mean it's just going to like happen. You're not going to go to Hardee's and be like, oh, I want that paleo meal. Well, they're not going to give you that. And they might look at you like you're crazy. And then, just quit thinking about it. Like we say that all the time in the gym, and some of you may not come in here. Don't think about it, just do it. Just do it. Make a plan and go forward with it, okay? When we go to the grocery store, I'm going to give you guys some priorities real quick on the grocery store because it's going to be a little different than maybe what some of you are used to. Maybe not. 3 priorities at the grocery store. Protein, produce, and healthy fats, like in that order, okay? Protein. This is the first priority because if you get, let's see, the factory farmed, commercially raised stuff that like they serve at McDonald's, no offense, I like McDonald's, but that's not healthy stuff. Not only are you eating poor quality meat, but you're eating meat that ate poor quality food. Does that make sense? You're eating what you're eating ate, essentially. So our number one priority in terms of budget and things like this when we go to the grocery store is going to be on high quality protein. It needs to be lean. So grass-fed means that it at least started its life off eating grass-fed. Grass-finished means that it was from beginning to end. Okay, it ate grass, its natural diet from the time it was born until it was slaughtered. Pasture-raised. So we want pasture-raised eggs, pasture-raised chickens, things like this. All of this stuff you guys can get at Whole Foods. That's probably the best place I've seen. You know, you might have to go to Trader Joe's for some things as well, but definitely Whole Foods. I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, but ruminant animals, if you're a hunter, like paleo should be like your favorite thing in the whole world. Like eating deer, things that just are out and about eating their natural diet, that's the other kind of stuff you're after. So high quality protein is the number one priority at the store. Number two, produce. So we want vegetables and fruit, lots and lots and lots of vegetables. If you can buy organic, I would suggest that. Some things to like think about when you go. If you can buy local and organic, you're better off. If the food you're going to buy, say it's a vegetable, you're going to peel the skin of it off, it's not as important to buy that organic because you're about to strip away most of what's been sprayed all over it. That's what we're trying to avoid, right, is some of that chemical that's been sprayed on there. So fun. The second thing, or the other thing we want to think about is we want it to be seasonal. If it's not seasonal, then it's not fresh. Like, you know, if you can't buy it locally, it's probably not, it's grown in like a factory somewhere. So again, we want to avoid that stuff. And again, we have a list of all of these items for you guys. The other thing is, if budget is a big concern, frozen vegetables are a good option if it's a seasonal vegetable because it was probably frozen when it was fresh. And so it's going to be more nutritious than something that was grown in a not so friendly environment. So those are kind of our second priorities. Our third priority here is going to be healthy fat. I think most of us, or I think most people in general, and maybe not everybody in here because most people in here probably, like I say, you guys have read a little bit about this or have some opinions on it. There's a huge misconception that fat makes us fat. I was at work, a lot of examples from that place. I walked up to a woman's desk, and on her desk was it said Taekwon, and it was a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. It said fat-free chocolate chip cookies. And I thought, let's see what's in this. It had 1 cup of butter. Not specified that it was grass-fed, just a cup of butter. That seems like a lot to me. 2 cups of sugar. Have y'all ever seen 2 cups of sugar? Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter how fat-free it is, and I don't know how the butter counted for that. Maybe it was margarine she had in there. That's good chemical too. So fat does not make us fat, okay? Fat actually tells our body that we're full. So when we're eating things that are low in fat, we can eat more because there's nothing going into our brain to say, hey, you're full. So when they strip all that out of there, we're actually getting a negative impact. And that's why you see like obesity the way it is in our country. So healthy fats. So they're not all healthy, right? Coconut milk, coconut oil. Trader Joe's has coconut oil. You can also buy a huge thing of it at Costco. I would highly recommend that. You do want to make sure that you get organic coconut oil. That's still important. And virgin coconut oil. You can cook with this, like everything. Like we cook eggs with it. We cook everything with this. Coconut. There's coconut milk that comes in a can. This is coconut water. Not quite the same thing. We'll go over that in a minute. But coconut oil, again, cook with it. Coconut milk, you can cook with that as well. Not the same way, so not frying, but if you're baking something, you can use coconut milk. Avocados. Avocados are, I found out, this is something that's grown like year round. Like it's not a seasonal, it's a fruit technically. But it's fantastic. Like you can put it on salad like it's dressing, and it's better than any dressing that you could ever eat. The fat that's in it is amazing in terms of its health benefits. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is an important part. You can use that for salad dressing as well. Don't cook with it. Once it gets to a certain temperature, it can create some problems that we're not after. Here's kind of an exception to like the dairy piece, right? The pastured butter or ghee. You can buy Kerrygold butter. It's shipped from Ireland. These are cows that are raised in Ireland, and they're 100% grass-fed. If you like bulletproof coffee or are interested in that, I think there's several people in here that drink it and can speak to its benefits. I love it. My wife thinks I'm crazy. So you can eat butter. That's good, right? But specific type of butter. Raw nuts and seeds. Those candy-coated almonds that like they sell on the snack machine at work, that's probably not the same. We want raw, all natural almonds. You can buy different brands. I think the cheapest place I've seen them is probably Trader Joe's. They have huge bags that are cheap. So that's a good snack. Again, unfortunately, peanuts are not nuts. They are legumes. And that's kind of like a bean, you know. So, gosh almighty. Doesn't like my time frame. I hate that because I really love peanut butter. But they do make almond butter, which is not quite the same. It's good. Like if you leave peanut butter for a little while, just leave it behind and eat almond butter for like a month, you kind of forget. Not completely, but just a little bit, right?
But then we put in our ice cream.
There's another problem. So, but yeah, almond butter too. Just a side note, like they're like marketing companies will trick you into this. Oh, this is healthy. Like eat this. There's almond butter out there that's got honey in it and agave nectar. Like that doesn't really count. Like you just want to read the ingredients and see that it's just like almonds and some kind of oil that's acceptable. So where do we start, right? So we got to plan our meals. It's not always fun, but plan the meals. We're going to give you guys, like say, a whole packet of information. Does everyone have a Gmail account? I see no hands. Everyone knows what Google is, right? I'm still confused.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So they make this cool thing called Google Drive. We're going to share this entire like deck of documents with you guys that has more information. Helps you plan out meals. It has its own grocery list, and in that grocery list it highlights what is, these are all acceptable options, but this is better, that one's not, etc. The other thing that's really good to do is go to your home and empty out your pantry. Find all the things that aren't acceptable, and you're going to have a list of that as well. Throw it away. If you are like me and don't like throwing away money, take it to some food bank and give it away. Because if you're starving, your diet's probably a little different than this. But get rid of it. Like get it out of your house because you will eat it. You're going to have like a moment where you're going to break down. And then lastly, restock your pantry. So take that grocery list, go find those healthy things, and get after it. What does it all mean? So you see all this stuff I was talking about earlier, the marketing things. Cage-free, real clear. This isn't governed by anyone. Like I could go get some eggs, put them in a new box and say these are cage-free. Nobody tells me if that's good or bad. Like there's no rules around that. Typically, it just means that they're not in a cage, but that doesn't mean they ever saw the light of day. They might just live in a big, huge barn, and they lay on top of each other and other disgusting things that take place there. Has anyone ever seen Food Inc.? If you haven't seen that, if you have an Amazon Prime account, like, go watch it. It's free. It will just gross you out. But those birds that they show in there, they're cage free, and I don't think anybody wants to eat that. Grass-fed. Grass-fed is important. You can't write that on there unless they're actually doing it. However, it doesn't mean that they were fed grass their whole life. They may have been started off. That means they started off on grass, and then before they were slaughtered and sold, they might have been fed a bunch of grains, which is corn, to fatten them up really quick so that they could sell them, okay? So it doesn't guarantee, it doesn't mean they had a better diet, but if you're buying something that says grass-fed and you don't know if it's grass-finished, try and get the leanest cut that you can, or if it has any fat on it, try and trim that off. Does that make sense? Natural. That doesn't mean anything. Nothing. I'm pretty sure all eggs are natural. That's just what happens, right? Organic, that part is regulated. There's still some, room to be wiggle, but it's kind of what we can go with right now. Pastured, this part's important, especially when you're buying eggs, chicken, any pork that you might buy, you might want pastured pork. I'm gonna fire the IT guy. But the reason we want that is we want these animals, most of these animals that we're trying to eat here, especially all the meats we talked about earlier, their natural environment was to eat grass and bugs and just what was available to them. They weren't fed corn unless they just strolled up upon a cornfield. And unless they lived in the middle of the United States, that didn't happen. Okay, so there's a whole lot of subsidies going on that create that. So we want to avoid that. All that fat is really bad that's coming from that. These are some resources. Let me go back a second. So again, we provided a whole list of definitions of this stuff so you don't get confused. You don't have to be so strict and feel like it's overwhelming. Buy clean food as much as you can. It's still better than eating a frozen pizza. Okay, so a salad with chicken on it, and you might not know where the chicken came from because you bought it at some fast food place close to your work. That's still better than eating French fries. You know what I mean? Does everybody get that? So don't stress out about it, but read that stuff so you do know what you're looking at. Some resources in addition to what we're going to provide you guys with. Whole 9 Life. Whole 9 Life is the creator of what's called the Whole 30 Challenge, or the Whole 30 Life. You can look them up. They've got some great resources. Some of the stuff we're going to provide you guys came directly from them. It's extremely good and extremely helpful. The paleodiet.com, there's a guy named Dr. Lauren Cordain. He is probably the foremost speaker and most educated person about the Paleolithic lifestyle and the diet and kind of where it came from. And he wrote the paleodiet.com, the Paleo Diet. It's a book. Check that out. Check out his website. Rob Wolf, he wrote the Paleo Solution, another good book. Mark's Daily Apple is a blog. Again, he wrote Primal Blueprint, which is this is a Primal Blueprint approved book, so you can check out some of that stuff. Paleo Comfort Foods is a couple out of Atlanta. They're into CrossFit and they like cooking. They have no other knowledge except that they just cared about their health and they started cooking together. And we have their book, and it kind of was our intro to all this stuff. StupidEasyPaleo.com. Cool if you're on Instagram. She's got a great page and she's got a blog you can follow. She's a good one to look at. And then Nom Nom Paleo is also another blog. She just wrote a book. Everybody should check out his cookbook. That's supposed to be pretty good. So we provide all that information. So let's get down, like, here are the rules, right? So we already know that we're trying to eat clean. And I've got some printouts of this, so I'll give it to everyone before you leave so you have it. Also, when we send out all the other information, it's going to be in there. So if you decide to participate in the CrossFit Reaction Paleo Challenge, this is what we're looking at, right? So from 1st of March to, the 1st of February to the 2nd of March. And I found out we did that because the Super Bowl is coming up at the end of this month, and we want everyone to continue drinking beer until that day. No beer drinkers? Okay. Well, John was happy about that. All right. Well, if you don't have to drink beer if you don't want to. Huh? Everyone's in shock. Is everybody okay? We need to take a break? Come back? All right. So, again, it's $25 to enter this thing, okay? It's not a weight loss competition. It's just, we just want everyone to be healthier. And in general, that helps with your happiness, your mood. Unless you're Preston. He gets depressed without Zaxby's. But, so this is some of the stuff that we want you to do. So before and after, we would like you to take a before and after picture. You don't have to share it unless you win. So if you win, you have to show your before and after pictures. All right? They should all be appropriate. So we want, front and back view of everyone. And so keep that to yourself. But we're going to do body weight measurement at the beginning. We're also going to do a waist circumference measurement, and we're going to do a body fat percentage measurement. We got some tools recently to help us do that. Guys are going to measure guys, girls are going to measure girls. So, and no one's going to know what yours is except for you and the person that measures you. So don't stress about that if that's a concern. We're also going to have a performance measurement. So we have a workout that we've come up with. Brandon actually came up with it, and we're going to do it prior to the event, and you'll see it posted on the website. So it will be a workout that we're going to do.
Everyone more than likely has done it, and I have the scores. So.
Oh, we have the old ones. Beautiful.
So don't think about cheating.
So it's a 6-minute workout. This is the only part you have to do here. If you don't work out here, that's fine, but you have to come do this workout here. We're not going to charge you to do that. So just come on the days we have it. We can let you know. So it's a 6-minute workout. We're going to row 500 meters, and then with whatever time we have left, we're going to do max burpee, box jumps, or step-ups. If you start off jumping, you have to continue jumping. If you start off stepping, you have to continue stepping. You'll do that for the remainder of the time. Everybody's using the same height, so it's 20-inch box for men and women. It's going to be fun. I know that some of you don't think that's fun, but that's what we're doing. So that's the workout. Daily requirements, of course, we want to eat real food. We want to maintain the food log, which we're going to provide you with, so you can score your points each day. We want to maintain a journal. That's kind of on you to track stuff. That's for your benefit, not ours. We want to see your progress over 30 days. The Whole30.com, if you go to that website, they have a whole list of from day 1 to day 3, you're going to be hangry. Does everybody know hangry, hungry, angry, hangry? All right. So you're going to be in that area, and then, you're going to go through these stages of depression and anger. It's withdrawal. Yeah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So, yeah. So it goes through that. So I would advise you to look at that so that you know, okay, this is not, unnormal that I feel this way. So check that out. Scoring. You're going to keep track of it yourself on your nutrition log. You get 1 point. Well, let me just go to the next page because this is going to show it. No, it's not. So you get 1 point for every paleo meal or snack that you eat. It has to be part of that approved grocery list. If you eat a perfect meal and you drink a Coke with it, like my wife's going to do every day at lunch, that doesn't count. And she's cool with that. So You can't, that doesn't work, so you can't check that box. You get 1 point for completing the workout. So here or elsewhere, we are on an honor system though, so like if you do 5 push-ups, that's not a workout. Okay, it has to be like a workout. No, Preston, you gotta actually come to the gym. Not this gym, you gotta go to a gym and work out. You can only get 5 a week, so if you're crazy and you wanna work out twice a day, 7 days a week, that's cool, you can do that, but you only get 5 points every week for 5 full workouts, okay? So we don't have anybody like Sammy Pangle doing like 20, you know. You get 1 point for every 8 hours of sleep. There's a lot of information out there that says that our body recovers and our muscles regenerate better when we sleep. And getting 8 hours is very important.
What happens if you can't get 8 hours of sleep?
Well, you have the same problem that I do, so you don't get a point for that.
If I sleep 4 hours on Tuesday and 4 on Wednesday, is that
It has to be 8 hours consecutive sleep. It's a bonus point, okay? Calm down. That's 40 total points per week that you can get that way. Now, if you decide, I have to eat this brownie at this company meeting because, you know, my boss gave it to me and like I cannot eat it in front of him, right? You will deduct 1 point for that one thing, okay? If you like ice cream, like I do, then I will have to deduct a point from my whole week for eating ice cream, okay? If you like alcohol, that's fine too, but you're gonna deduct a point for every drink that you have during that week, okay? Yeah, that one's hard. So
So it doesn't matter the size of the ice cream, just as long as you eat it.
hey, that's what I would say. I mean, like if you eat the whole tub, you're probably just gonna not enjoy that later, but you have other problems, we'll let you suffer. So a cookie, some cake, if it has sugar in it and it's on that list of unapproved things and you eat it, you just take a point off your whole week, okay? So we want you guys to tally all this up. So you'll have I have a log for you, you'll see it. You check off the little boxes, and at the bottom you write, I got this many and I cheated this many times. If you, like say, you just don't get a check for things that you, like if you eat a lunch and it's not clean, just don't check that box. You just don't get that point. You don't get a deduction, but just don't get a point. Make sense? Bonus points, like I said, if you work out every day, we would like you to work out at CrossFit. Clearly we like CrossFit. So if you can, do, whether that's here or any other CrossFit gym, preferably here, but you know, can't be beggars. Let's see. The big side of that is like if you're working out with people that are doing the same thing you are, it's a little easier to hold each other accountable. We already know that, right? Like most of us in here, like sometimes we come to the gym, we're like, I can't not go to the gym because Jenny's gonna get better than me again. Like stuff like that. So the eating thing, like, all right, we're all eating the same. We can go and like fuss about it together. You can get the bonus points for sleeping. Ona's got to sleep more. Physical changes. So here we go. You get 1 point for every 5 pounds of weight loss. Okay? So you're gonna have to lose a lot of weight for that to count a lot for you, okay? Your waist measurements, you get 1 point for every 2 inches lost. Body fat percentage, on the other hand, you get 1 point for every percentage point of body fat loss. So that one's a big one. If we can attack that, which I think if anyone tries this, they're gonna see the results are there. It happens. The performance improvement for the workout, you get 1 point for every 5 percentage points of improvement for that test workout. So if you got 100 reps the first time and you get 105 the second time, you have a 5% improvement. You get 1 point. Make sense? And then the winners, I left off the S. At the end of the challenge, we're going to have 3 top performers who will be selected based on the measurements, so the waist, the weight, the body fat, the performance from the challenge WOD, the scoring of the points for your log every day. And again, you're going to keep up with that stuff and just turn it in. Does that make sense? First place prize pack, big money, up to $400 to the winner. Wait. Nobody likes $400? Well, depends on how many people you recruit and sign up. We'll pay you extra. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So $400. We're gonna get some awesome stuff from our local sponsors, Pachyderm Sports Gear. Y'all like that more than $400? Okay, Chris, we'll talk after this. We'll just use that $400 on gear. So we're gonna have second and third place prize. We're not gonna tell you guys what that is yet, but it will be good. It will be worth whatever money you paid to be in this. Okay, so no one's gonna come out at a loss. And again, like, this is all cool. We want everyone to win and have a good time, and of course that's part of it. We all like competing, so this helps. But I mean, I can speak for myself and probably my wife. Like, the benefits of this lifestyle versus McDonald's every day, which is how I used to eat, it's insane, and it happens fast, and you feel good, you have energy. So I encourage everybody to attack it from that standpoint. So that's kind of all I have. Are there any questions or concerns? Brandon, you have anything you want to say?
I mean, I think like the same thing we talked about before. This is just about, I mean, this is just a positive changes, right? Nobody's going to be perfect. I mean, we all have things that we are different goals, right? So if performance with the CrossFit Open is taking place, you're probably going to have to drink and consume more carbohydrates, but try to get it in the form closer to this as opposed to like Coke, you know. And that's something that you have to kind of play with and figure out, like, if your goal is to live a longer, healthier life, then, you know, performance, at least over this short duration, is probably going to be affected. And you just really need to be conscious about that. And don't say, oh man, like, I'm tired, I can't lift, I'm lifting 30% less. I mean, it's like, take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
I was gonna say, I think the thing about this is it says diet, and when you think diet, you think, oh, I do this for 30 days and then I'm done. I'm with Todd. I've been pretty strict paleo for a year plus now, and coming from a girl that measured and counted and wanted everything to be fat-free, low-fat, sugar-free, how many carbs is in this, I now am a girl that's like, I want a lot of fat, and I will go back and get burgers if I want it. So, and the thing is you're eating clean foods, and your body is going to change, and you're going to, like, those headaches that maybe you had in the afternoon, they go away. Like, your skin breakouts, all of a sudden they're gone. Like, for me, dairy, like, it breaks my skin out, and I've learned that. And I think if you give it a try, these 30 days are going to change completely, like, you know. And I'll say, like, my friends outside of the gym give me so much, you know, joke, oh, you can't eat anything at this party, there's nothing. And you know what? I'm like, no, I really can't, but I bet I'll look better than you in a bathing suit, is what I'm thinking about. And I feel a lot better. So it's a really positive thing, and it will take you a lot of places if you let it. But it does take some work, and it takes some discipline. But it's completely worth it.
I don't know if Todd said this. You're probably going to have to cook. Now, and go grocery shopping. Now, Jess has some recipes that she had that we're going to put in there. But you're going to have to, you know, probably suggestion, I don't know if Todd says, buy a crock pot. You know.
And you figure out quick ways, like, to prep. Like, Sundays are often prep days for us, and it's like, you know, you may not have time to cook the bacon in the morning, but if you bake it all on a Sunday, you can pull a couple pieces out, stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and eat them as you're walking out the door. You figure out what works for you and how it works into your lifestyle.
Yeah, it goes back to you gotta prepare for it. Like, it's not just gonna like land in your lap. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it already. But
I say this. The kind of the big, like, as you look at some really easy things you can do, they're going to affect your health long term. You're probably going to want to get a membership to Costco or Sam's, so you can buy food in bulk. Is, like Todd said, grass-fed, free-range chicken that's in your backyard that you just butchered on your tree that you cut down the best option? Yes. But is eating chicken better that you cooked in your house better than eating at Chick-fil-A? Absolutely. And with that, I'd say that one of the easiest things you can do is buy glass containers. It's going to make your food taste better. You can go to Costco and get probably what would cost you $200 at Target for like $60, right? And it's just way easier. And the food's going to taste, if you have to take it to work and heat it up, it's going to taste a lot better. Yes, ma'am.
When and where are we doing the body fat thing?
We're gonna do that here. So all the coaches, we have these awesome looking pterodactyl body fat calipers,
We'll get another one too.
and we have tape measure. So female coaches will measure any females, and guys will measure guys. Just eliminate any problems. Again, no one's gonna see that except for you and that coach. If you don't want to see your own score, tell that person so they can make a note of it, and then when you turn in your first week's log, we can write that on there. So we're going to do that here. We want to do it the day that you do. Sam, let's go. The day. Sorry. When we do that workout, the challenge workout, we want to do it that day before the workout itself. So Brandon will put on the website the day that we post that workout as our.
And it may be
We'll probably do it a couple
2
times.
days,
Yeah.
just for time's sake, because it probably takes 5 minutes
Yeah.
per person.
So that's how that will roll. Any other questions?
In the paperwork, we define some more of the things that I'd like to avoid, like what lagoons consist of that you're not supposed to avoid. And
Everything we'll send you if you sign up. We have a whole packet of information that gives all the details of everything that I went over, like way more. My wife pointed out the fact that nobody wanted to read those slides. Probably they're big. It's good. It's good information, but we have it all for you.
For the rule of thumb, if you don't know what it is and you can't pronounce it,
Yeah. No.
and the ingredient level, then you shouldn't eat it. Like if I start to read something and it says organic, gluten-free something, and the first 2 ingredients are I don't know what they are or can't pronounce them, then I'm like, nope, doesn't count.
Right.
That's a great rule of thumb.
We'll get all of it to you.
And guys, this is an open dialogue, right? So Todd doesn't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Jenny doesn't. I mean, I'm not a very good cook. So I'm not there's other people that try things and do things that it's kind of supposed to be an open discussion and dialogue for all of us. And as we do this more frequently, if you if you want to make a YouTube video on what you make, your soup or your stew, we'd be glad to share it. And that's what I want everyone to just kind of,
Yeah.
You can get as involved as you want.
Email us, send us Facebook messages, whatever you have questions about
That's
something that you are trying to cook or a good recipe, send that out.
We start a Facebook group for the Paleo Challenge.
Sure, I think that's a good idea.
so. I
And then
don't
you
think-
can have open dialogue on there.
The book's not here, but actually the person that's probably the most famous paleo cook, this is how she got into it. They had a paleo seminar. Julie Focosia,
Where's that book?
oh, it's somewhere. She's got 3 or 4 books. That's her whole career now is based around paleo recipes, and that's a good podcast. Paleo Solutions, which is probably more health oriented, fix your health problems. There's a ton of information you can just find out there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Use olive oil, or it has to be only the other oil?
You can use all of it. I think cooking, this is getting some paleo people would advocate using, grass-fed butter because the fatty acids, the profile of it is maybe a little better. But you can cook. The main reason I like cooking with coconut oil is it lasts a lot longer.
Yeah, it does last a long time.
And like olive oil goes bad a lot quicker. And this, as you can see, is in like a solid state, and you can keep it. You can store it a lot easier. And if you buy the giant jar at Costco, you can like put it in smaller jars a lot easier.
The other thing, like with extra virgin olive oil, it's good like in its raw form. Once you cook it, there's some carcinogenic, results in terms of the chemical reaction when you heat it up. So that's why they might say avoid that for cooking specifically. So the coconut oil, that's what we use. I mean, we use it in place of that for everything, and you learn it pretty quick. So
That's like a good, that's like a bad, good, better, best. Like,
Right.
the best option is to use coconut oil. If you open your cabinet and all you have is olive oil,
Yeah.
if you can't go to the store, use the olive oil. By no means, please do not use canola oil.
Right.
Yeah.
There's different levels, and you figure that out.
Just a stupid question, but why is Pam bad for you then? Is Pam bad for you, is that what you're saying?
Pam, the spray-on stuff.
Yeah, why is that bad for you?
That's canola, isn't it?
Most canola.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like canola or.
Maybe if you're only using just enough to make sure things don't stick.
Well, that, you just take a little bit, teaspoon of the,
It melts.
They only spray a little bit of pesticides on those vegetables too, but
I
I don't want to eat them.
It's not necessarily the quantity. It's like you can't be a little bit pregnant. It's like you're ingesting it, then you're ingesting it. That's it. It's not necessarily like more is really bad for you and less is kind of
Costco sells
bad across the board.
spray on coconut oil at
They always spray on olive oil too.
Or you use a little bit of butter, or you go get a different pan. Me and Esther, we bought a really cheap, I think it was like $10 a pan. They have different sizes at Sam's Club. That sucker is so non-stick, man. I can
Where's
put
some
eggs
bacon
on it
grease?
and not have to use butter or anything. It won't stick to it.
Bacon grease?
Bacon grease.
Bacon, like bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon grease.
drain the grease from
Yeah,
the
that's another thing. I can cook my bacon.
Yum. That tastes good too.
Yeah.
It does taste good.
It does.
What other questions, concerns? And if you guys think of something after this, like I say, we're gonna start a little Facebook page and we'll provide.
On the sleep thing, you should do this. Your room needs to be dark, and it needs to be cool, and you don't need to have your cell phone there, and you don't need like that's a whole nother issue. The quality of your sleep needs to be, try to get that really good. Get it dark, uninterrupted. A lot of you probably live in an apartment or city area, so it's going to be hard. But that's one thing that I did that really kind of improved my sleep, is if it was a lot darker and cooler, like 60.
Can I also sleep
But thanks everyone for coming.
Yeah,
If you have
thank
other
you.
questions, just let us know. We're always here.
If you signed up, we'll send you, like I say, all the information. It's a packet. If you have Google Drive, it's great. Otherwise, just get it in your email. So, if you do have that, just touching on that. If you download Google Drive for your iPhone or Android or whatever, you can have all the documents we're going to send you in your hand or on your iPad. And that way, when you go to the grocery store, you don't have to have print out some list. You can have it in your hand. I know that made a big difference for us. Just having access to that easier. So we will share that with everyone. So thanks again, guys.